So welcome to the DC Hammer channel. We're reporting on some news that just came through a day or so ago, and let's get right into the article. It appears that random acts of violence are now becoming more common here in the United States, as the example set by Antifa and Black Lives Matter, except in Chicago, and the violence not just condoned, but ushered in by hate-spewing Democrats like Mad Maxine Waters and other leftists following the teachings of Saul Alinsky and Bill Ayers. That has just ushered in a new culture of, if you can't beat them with ideas, beat them with your fists. This article comes to us from the Daily Wire, where the other day in Northern California, there was a police line that had been established in a neighborhood as there had been a mass overdose in that neighborhood. 12 at least people ages 19 to 30 had to be rushed to the hospital because of some kind of a drug overdose. And as the police created a police line, and then as always the news channels start to show up, as the news people started to mass in that area and to report on what was going on, then this is what transpired.
Being attacked outside that house. KRCR's Megan Mackey was reporting live on Facebook when this happened.
So I'm currently on Santina Court in Chico, and this is where the incident occurred at approximately 9 o'clock this morning. This is disrespectful. Do you understand that? Get the out of here!
So a reporter, when you're just getting started in the news business, these are the kind of beats that you have to cover. You're sent out to crime scenes and the slum areas in order to cover violence and the things that just kind of are filler on the news channels. And so this Megan Mackey was sent out to report on this incident, and while she was reporting on it, she was accosted by presumably somebody that lives in that neighborhood, screaming at her that just being there to report on what was going on was disrespectful. And when apparently that didn't change what Megan Mackey was doing to report, then this person attacked her, knocked her camera to the ground, and then started beating on her. And this is the kind of violence, again, that comes about when you have a society that has been acculturated in, if you don't get your own way, then pull your fist out of your pocket and start swinging. Mackey was thankful for the law enforcement response and that they did come to her aid and deal apparently with her attacker. I don't know if the attacker was arrested, but here you have somebody just reporting on an incident that had taken place. This is in Chico. This is another one of those areas in Northern California that is a far left community. A lot of people doing drugs and not obeying the law in Northern California. This is part of, again, of the sanctuary state of California, and this is the kind of activity that happens when you have a culture that's gone completely upside down, and traditional values of law and order and respect for others have gone completely by the wayside. So keep your eye out for more incidents like this in the future, unfortunately, until we can succeed in making America great again. So, how does a shift from the days of nonviolence, as preached by the likes of Dr. Martin Luther King, to the bike lock swinging, profanity spewing, demonic minions of today, well, is it just possible that people are just acting out what they are taught in school by their teachers? After all, Hitler had the leaders of the Hitler Youth, and we now have the LA Teachers Union. As striking Los Angeles teachers bully, threaten substitutes that are crossing the picket line in order to keep the kids in the school learning. This comes to us from the Gateway Pundit, and in Los Angeles, California, that glorious sanctuary state is able to recruit, obviously, a phalanx of red shirt protesters, red being the color of the communists. 30,000 of these public teachers walked out of the classroom starting on Monday as contract negotiations came to a halt. One of the reasons for the contract negotiations coming to a halt was the fact that the union, on behalf of the teachers, was asking for things that the school district could not accept. And the main thing is, and this is always a plea made by the teachers supposedly, but typically through the union itself, they want fewer kids in the classroom. So if you lower classroom size, you have to hire more teachers in order to teach those students that aren't in the classrooms that are being downsized. That means more teachers, more union dues. That's what this is all about. The unions are basically communist organizations that have been operating this country for decades, and they are set out to get these concessions from the district, whether the district likes it or not. They're going to hold the kids hostage, and they are going to keep it up until the district caves in. In addition to that, the teachers that are involved in this striking activity are doxing the substitutes. In other words, putting their names and information online in a way that others can find out where they are in order to harass them at home and to treat these substitute teachers the same way that Tucker Carlson was treated in his home when Antifa tracked him down and held his family hostage while he was away. The district superintendent, Austin Butner, has said that a fact finder, in other words, a third party, brought in a neutral person that looked at the demands of the union and the information from the school district and made a determination as to whether the the demands by the union were reasonable or not, and determined that if the union were to get everything they were demanding, the Los Angeles school district would be bankrupt in a few years. Do you believe, looking at this picture, that this group of people cares about whether the school district will go bankrupt? Does this look like a group of people that care more about the kids in their classrooms, the teaching of the children? Or are these people that look like they're followers of the communist, Marxist movement? And when you connect all those dots together, isn't this the answer to why children are being raised in a way that they behave like that person in Chico attacking the reporter? If they see something they don't like, they start swinging their fists. And it transitions easily from fist pumping in the air to fist pumping at the side of your head. Keep an eye on this one. The sanctuary state of California is continuing to plunge into darkness.